Hello guys, what's up? In this video I'm going to teach you some tips and tricks for trading inside pixels. Trading is a way to generate more money in pixels than just by your daily energy limit or by regularly playing. So it has a very high scaling potential, but also there's a little bit of risk involved, but I will also show you some tips how you can guaranteed make profits. And we're going to start right with that. Basically, certain items, like for example, source star blocks, right now just cost 1 coin. And that means if you buy them now, no matter what, you will always be able to sell them at the same price, and the profits can only go up. So there's a very low risk and a very high upside potential. But of course, like these low cost items, they will also require you to spend a lot of time buying and selling. But with that, we're going to some general concepts about trading, which is basically supply and demand. So supply versus demand. Right now in the game, we have somewhat of an oversupply of certain items, and that's mainly because the productions are very high. So anything like these resources, base resources, are very easy to produce. You have unlimited, or you can place as many industries as possible on your lands, and that means we have way more production than we have things in the game. A pretty easy concept. So to keep it short, how is the scarcity of an item? How easy can you get it just by playing? And also to give you a counter example, we're looking here at Voidtonium. Voidtonium can only be gained from mining on space lands. There's only 500 space lands. Not all of those lands have mines. So I was actually buying Voidtonium non-stop back when it was like 100, 200 gold coins, simply for the fact that I knew the item is really hard to get, and I was like stacking that up in my spec in the chests, and I knew at some point if it's gonna be valuable, it's gonna really go up in value because it's very hard to generate. But yeah, that leads us to the next point, which is demand. So what mechanics do we have in the game right now for demand? It's mostly actually the task board right now, but we also have events. And we also need to keep in mind updates. So those are the kind of things that control the demand. And that is also pretty much why certain items like woodworking kits or generally industry kits went up in price, right? Since the taskbar changed, there was an oversupply of these industries. You couldn't really burn them. There was no sink, and they were added to the taskboard, and that's why the price was slowly going up. And at that time, it was a pretty easy buy to get these because you also see the supply was very high. I bought a bunch, and now I can basically sell them for almost twice the value. So I was able to make, I don't know, 50 million plus profit just by getting the woodworking kits. When you also see it's a very high, I think this is very important to check also the quantity of items. So just by looking at the price tells you one thing, but here seeing the supply go down, right? Usually supply in pixels is moving before the price is moving. So that's a very good example here. We see the price, the quantity is going down, dropped quite a bit, which kind of always is followed by a price pump. And yeah, the next thing we will also see here is the loss versus profit in crafting. Let's say something is a profit and something is a loss. And as a general rule of thumb, you can say is that you want to buy losses and you want to sell profit. Why is that? So, pretty simple. The only value that the crafter gets from these is experience. So there's no reason ever to craft a woodworking kit because it costs you 120,000 and at best right now you will sell it for 98,000. So that obviously means you make a loss in exchange of crafting XP. So that's what some people are willing to sacrifice. However, if you just want to play the market, you buy these losses and you wait until the supply goes down and then sell at a higher price, because unless lots of people want to burn value to get experience, you will always, the price should always go up. And you can check that really well if you go here to the crafting page and sort by profits, right? You can also see, and let's go to this later, but you can basically see this is actually the highest loss you can make with crafting, right? So you never want to craft these yourself. You want to buy them and flip them for a bit higher. But also keep in mind that we come to the next point, which is trading volume. So certain items like these might look good. Oh, I can make a profit here if I craft this. But to be honest, how often is somebody buying a barn, which is already pretty expensive? And we can see this here going up really high in quantity. So basically, there's more items on store, and that means people are crafting it, people are trying to sell it, but not many people are buying it. But yeah, going back to the original point, with losses, you basically want to buy losses and you want to sell profits. But keep in mind, there's certain exceptions where we could look at another example. For example, yeah, let's look at the cooking stuff, right? So I don't know what's going on with hot sauces. Somebody bought out or like many hot sauces, maybe just to gamble on it, right? But that doesn't mean you will sell them at the profit just because um, nobody needs them right now. So we're actually going back. We're actually going back to the demand question. Is there actually a demand for those items, or are people only right now buying this hot sauce, for example, to gamble a bit and hold some items that might be needed later? So how can we now take advantage of this? Certain items, like I mentioned, with no downside and only upside, you will find here in the resource page. So the problem that we see with some are better than others, and you want to go for the best ones to not waste your time. And as always, tier 1 and tier 2 resources are bottable, which means they will be the hardest to have a positive price movement, because as soon as there's profits to be made, there's going to be as many bots as it takes to extract that profit. So that's why you don't want to buy copyright, or you don't want to buy matrix, clay matrix or Ocrux matrix, because even bronze ore and marble light matrix, they will not go up as high as ironite ore and bedrock matrix, like these tier 3, tier 4 resources. Which, even more, getting back to the point here, is when you can expect an update. So as you can see here, you can just get bedrocks for like 2 right now, which is pretty cheap. Or we can get ironite ore for 2 as well, or even better, source dump for 1. And you can buy them in bulk. And that's one thing I've done, right? You can set up some storage chests on your spec and just fill them up with these items and flip them at a higher price later on. But yeah, in general, I would say the more you know about the game, the better, because then you can sometimes find these hidden treasures like the Voitanium. I would even say stuff like Spider Slugs. Why is it on 1? It's a very rare drop. It has right now no demand, so it only has a high supply, which pushes the price down. And this is a pretty easy buy to me. I think the eggs, look how high they were in price when they were needed, right? This was, I think, during the Barney event. And like, look where the price is now. So you can see the impact of certain events, certain updates. So that's why you always wanna know the alpha, what gets changed, and then fully ape into it. Or even better, buy it like right now, buy this at 1 and just wait until people need it. And you really can't go wrong with that. But I think I will also sometimes share some tips on my Discord server or my TikTok, where I just post some items that are super underpriced, that you can buy, hold, and later on get the profits in coins. So yeah, that's it with my video. Hopefully it was helpful, and I wish you good luck with trading in pixels.